Hi, my name is John, and I am an English major.
Hi John, how can I help you?
Last term, I took a class on theory with Professor Alberton, and I have decided that I want to do a PhD in theory. You are a big theory guy on campus, and I was hoping you could give me some advice.
Who is Professor Alberton?
He's a young English professor. He's really cool and very smart. I think he is a genius.
How so?
Well, no offense, but he is so young compared to the other professors.
I suspect that he is so young because he is still a graduate student.
Maybe, but he's still very smart because sometimes he says things even I don't understand.
Anyway, so you said that you want to do a PhD in theory. But in what field exactly?
Well, theory, I said.
But I don't understand. In what field? What author do you want to study in particular?
I love Foucault.
Who?
Foucault. The bald French guy.
Ah, you mean Foucault. Michel Foucault. Right?
Whatever.
Okay. I confess that I'm not sure what a PhD in theory is. Perhaps that in theory a PhD in theory should exist, but in actuality you will have to settle for another discipline, like French, English, philosophy, comparative literature, anthropology, or history. Then you can try to satisfy your hunger for theoretical thinking as you are working on your PhD in one of these fields. Now, could you tell me a little bit more what you like about theory?
I think people who do theory are much smarter than other people.
Interesting. But how so?
They say things that are very provocative and radical. It just blows my mind. Other people are boring.
Can you tell me something provocative and radical that Foucault said and that you really like?
Yeah. Like, Foucault tells us to free our sexuality. I think that's great, because so many people are repressed. Don't you think so? Even at a party the other day, I was trying to hook up with a girl, and she was having none of it. I don't think she even ever read Foucault. Can you believe that?
But you know, Foucault doesn't say that you should free your sexuality?
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does, and he himself went to San Francisco to have a lot of sex. Professor Alberton told us that.
I think you've missed the point of Foucault's work on the history of sexuality.
I don't think so. But anyway, I also like Foucault's idea about how power and knowledge always go back and forth. And also the idea that power is everywhere.
Well, okay, but that's very vague. What do you like about Foucault's conception of power exactly? Could you perhaps give me a concrete example?
I refuse to answer your question. I want to be a theoretician, so I need to remain abstract. Professor Alberton, who is a genius, said that if you start using concrete examples or even a more precise language, you will very quickly fall down to the lowest level of crass positivism. Our perspective must remain theoretical. We investigate epistemological structures and their relations to modalities of power, but we do not care about empirical evidence. Empiricism has been proven to be a fallacy that only naive people can bind to. Honestly, I am a little disappointed by your question.
I think there is nothing wrong with trying to express your thoughts clearly, and sometimes concrete examples enable you to illustrate a point that is particularly difficult for others to grasp.
I disagree. I strongly disagree.
But didn't Foucault back up his so-called theory with a fair amount of archival material?
Professor Alberton told us that Foucault is a very bad historian, and that this is precisely why he is such a great thinker. Foucault uses archival evidence only to trick his readers into a positivist frame of mind, which he then proceeds to deconstruct from the inside. He mocks historians first by writing like them, only later to show that history is itself a central element in the modern episteme, which will soon disappear. Foucault is a historian who perverts history. I think your understanding of Foucault is disappointingly poor.
Frankly, I am not sure how to react to that. I would advise you to read the 4 books and 27 articles on Foucault that I've published. Maybe you'll learn something.
Your previous apology of concrete thought makes me think that I will not. To be honest, I believe I was born with a particularly keen appreciation for the subtleties of French theory.
Where were you born?
A small place named Beaver City, in Utah.
Oh, of course. This is a well-known hotbed of French theory. No wonder you have this innate understanding of Foucault's ideas. Reading Foucault must be for you like reading your own mind.
Are you being sarcastic?
Not in the least. What makes you think that? You have now convinced me that you would make a great scholar. Ah, if only academia had many more people like you.
Do I need to go to grad school?
Let me think. You are smarter than all the professors I know, so in a fair world it should be you who teaches them. But the world isn't fair. So yes, you will unfortunately have to do a PhD. Other people take between 5 and 20 years. Many don't even finish. In your case, though, it will be just a formality. I think you'll be in and out in 1 year. You'll only need to scribble a few ideas on a piece of paper, and your professors will quickly realize what kind of intellectual you are.
I have heard that it is difficult to find a job in academia. Do you think this will be true for me as well?
It is true that many PhDs can never find a job and end up flipping burgers in fast food joints or pushing carts in giant shopping malls. But you, with your vast intelligence, friendly personality, and supreme modesty, I think that the only difficult moment in your brilliant career will be when you will have to choose between job offers from Harvard, Yale, and Columbia, among many other institutions. I wouldn't be surprised if you'll also get your own TV show, because a lot of people outside academia are very interested in French theory, and I could not imagine anyone better than you to enlighten those poor souls.
Could you write me a letter of recommendation?
I would love to. In fact, it would be a great honor. I will make sure to explain that you have made me realize how my life's work is worthless. I will describe how your approach to Foucault is drastically different from the one of any current major scholar. I will especially stress your point about power and knowledge going back and forth, because I think this was a particularly deep and frankly mind-blowing statement. You will of course be accepted in all the best programs, but in a sense it won't matter, because it's your very presence that will make whatever program the best in the country.
Thanks, cool. I'll be happy to return the favor when in a couple of years I'll be professor at Harvard, Yale, or Columbia. Maybe I'll write a letter to support your promotion to full professor.
I cannot begin to express my gratitude. I will write my letter of recommendation immediately. I look forward to being your colleague. Bye.
Bye. It was really cool meeting you.